Alright guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to a new video. Lately I've been talking a lot about the health consequences of eating gluten. I've been talking about the health consequences of eating vegetable oils. These are high in polyunsaturated fats, the vegetable oils, and they are rancid and they oxidize. It produces massive amounts of oxidative stress when they're consumed, and it really destroys your health. Vegetable oils that are mass-produced, that are made with hexanes and solvents, are directly linked to heart disease, the malfunctioning of the cognition, cardiovascular issues, neurological problems, and a handful of other issues that I'm not going to get into in this video. And gluten, you guys, the digestive incompatibility of gluten is through the roof. Human beings should not be consuming this waste, and the two main proteins in gluten are incredibly difficult to be broken down in the stomach. So what happens is that the amino acids are not liberated when they're consumed and when they're put into the stomach, excuse me. It's very difficult for our human bodies to break free the daisy chains, if you will, that hold the amino acids together on these proteins. So what ends up happening is these proteins do not digest by the time they get into the small intestine, and it wreaks havoc on your microvilli. These proteins are not compatible with human health. And a lot of people seem to think that, oh, protein's protein. No. Protein is different across a wide spectrum, and what I mean by that is proteins look different than other proteins. And the way that a protein is arranged largely dictates its compatibility with an organism. Certain organisms can consume proteins that other organisms have difficulty digesting, so on and so forth. So again, the two main proteins in gluten, which are glutenin and gliadin especially, of the two, is really difficult to digest, but both of them are they just wreak havoc on your digestive system, and they tumble through your small intestine and your alimentary tract, and they destroy your microvilli, and these are your absorptive tissues that line your intestines, your small intestine, and there are millions upon millions of these in your small intestine. So what am I trying to say here? The consumption of gluten destroys your body's ability to absorb nutrients because it directly assaults the absorptive tissues, the microvilli, the absorptive technologies, your biological absorbers. It destroys those. So most of you have grown up eating this stuff the majority of your life, and you've wreaked havoc on your digestive system. Therefore, whenever you eat something that's healthy or unhealthy, your ability to digest those nutrients is greatly hindered. So getting off of gluten is the number one step to start getting healthy, because it's going to liberate your body's, it's going to liberate you out of the digestive nightmare that you've probably been in for years. This is going to, over time, allow your microvilli to reestablish, your gut's going to get healthy, your digestion's going to improve, and it's going to lead to you being able to absorb nutrients on a much more efficient level than you currently do. So that's step one, gluten and the oils. The oils are, they put so much oxidative stress on your system. Olive oil, all of it. Coconut oil, I'm not a fan. After looking into the research of Dr. Joel Wallach and Dr. Peter Glidden, after looking into the deception of the Mediterranean diet, which is where a lot of the whole olive oil is healthy thing came from, I'm not convinced for a second that these oils belong in the human body, even olive oil, even coconut oil. So a lot of people, there's a handful of, I'm not going to say a handful, there's a lot of people who are against vegetable oils, but they're still a fan of the tropical oils. Even when I was a vegan, I thought that, or I believed strongly that the vegetable oils were toxic, but I leaned on the tropical oils because I couldn't use butter as a vegan. I couldn't use tallow or lard as a vegan. But now that is what I condone. The tallow, the lard, if it's real lard, and the butter, preferably the butter. And if you're a vegan, the coconut oil is going to be your safest bet, and the avocado oil, in my opinion. But these two foods, you guys, are often mixed together, gluten and vegetable oils. So getting off of them it really is one of the number one ways to improve your health. A lot of people think that, oh, I'll just take these algae, or I'll just take resveratrol, I'll just consume antioxidants, I'll take some vitamin C, I'll take some magnesium, I'll drink clean water, and that will get me healthy. Folks, that's just one step. In fact, what makes the most amount of sense to reverse bad health and to increase your health is to remove the primary things that are destroying your health. Because if you're just taking antioxidants on top of consumption of gluten, if you're just consuming resveratrol on top of, ladies and gentlemen, the consumption of vegetable oils, that's just like sitting in a house that, how would I explain it? It would be like having a wall in your house that has a blemish that you just keep painting over the blemish, and the blemish just keeps reappearing. The blemish disappears for a day and you just put a little bit of paint over it. No. How about instead of painting over our underlying problems, how about we get all that old paint off the walls, prime it and repaint it so that we don't have to keep repainting over the wall? So if you're just taking antioxidants, if you're just drinking clean water, that's a great start. But folks, that's not enough. Let's remove the gluten in the vegetable oils, the processed foods, the corn syrups, and everything processed, you guys. It's the stuff that we're not designed to be eating. It's the stuff that we would never be consuming in nature. So right now, I'm going to put a slide on this video showing you which grains and starches contain gluten, which grains and starches don't consume gluten. And I would not consume oats either, you guys. They're very difficult to digest, and they're oftentimes manufactured in a way that renders them contaminated with gluten. Oats and most grains as well, the saturation of glyphosate, a herbicide, has gone up upwards of 300% in a very short amount of time. These grains, these cereals, these granola bars, and all this bullshit that we're not supposed to be eating is filled full of glyphosate, herbicide, pesticide, larvicide, insecticides. These are toxins, folks. And most people are eating these with, I mean, you're eating gluten, which is bad enough, and then it's bound to a bunch of herbicide, a bunch of pesticide. This is how the cancer industry is one of the most profitable organizations in the world. The sick care industry, not the sick cure industry. The bad food is driving the healthcare system, folks, because you keep people sick, they need their treatments. If they need to keep coming for their treatments, you've got a cash cow. You've got a continuity of revenue. Doesn't that make sense? So again, on the screen right now, there's slides of which grains and starches contain gluten, which ones don't. And you guys, you just need to do a little bit of research. A lot of people have said, oh, well, what can I eat? You know, you talk about what not to eat. Well, what can I eat? I'm in the process of making an entire food pyramid on what to eat and what not to eat. But it's going to be a series of slides because I can't just encapsulate all of the stuff that I'm talking about in just one pyramid. So just do a little bit of research. Go on DuckDuckGo, type in what foods contain gluten, which ones don't. But I'm going to put, again, a very basic set of slides on the screen right now of which starches you can and can't eat. Now, you can obviously eat whatever you want, but if you want to increase your health, I would highly suggest getting off the vegetable oils, the processed foods, the corn syrups, the bottled garbage, the nonsense, the gluten. Again, the gluten contains two very difficult to digest proteins that wreak havoc on your system and increase inflammation 10,000-fold when they're consumed. It attacks your small intestine and over time strips away your microvilli and your villi in general. This equates to your ability to absorb nutrients. So that's the genius of gluten. It's destroying your ability to absorb nutrients. So I don't care how many blueberries you consumed. I don't care, how much schizandra you consumed. I don't care how much of whatever it is that you think is good for you you consumed. If you can't absorb it, there's no point in consuming it. So instead of just consuming antioxidants, instead of just chugging mineral tonic water and all this other stuff down your throat, how about removing the source of the two biggest problems in your life when it comes to your health? The consumption of vegetable oils and the consumption of gluten. You eliminate these two constituents from your dietary intake, your health is going to skyrocket in the right direction, most likely in a very short amount of time. So let's just wrap this up. I'll put more slides at the end of the video, and may peace be with you all. I wanted to personally thank you for watching my videos and contributing to the growth of my channel. I could not do this without you, and your interest in my content is truly what motivates me and fuels my passion for making these videos and spreading my message. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. I wanted to remind you that this channel is a free educational tool that is listener supported, and if you would like to donate to my channel and donate to my cause, help make my life a little bit easier and help keep the lights on around here, you can do so by checking out the links in the description box below. There's a handful of not only ways to donate to my channel, but I also have links to different websites and different videos of mine, as well as my Amazon store, where you can check out a plethora of different health related products that I use and recommend. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your continued interest in my message, and until next time, peace be with you all.